All right. How's it going for you, Ken?
It's going good, man. Good to talk to you again.
Oh yeah, always. It's always good to talk to friends. You know how that go.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. What's been going on this week for you?
Oh man, last week was a good week. I had competition in Georgia with Johnny King setting me up, and then coming back to some news, some stuff going on in Florida, and it just had me thinking about the different gun right activist groups. What are they really doing, and are they really for the people as they say they are?
Oh, okay. That's a big question right there.
Yeah. So, but you already know, like, I'm a life member with NRA,
Yep, so am I.
and I'm a life member with GOA as well,
Okay.
Gun Owners of America. So, just have questions, and I think I'm gonna start making some phone calls and just questioning these people just to see if they are actually, you know, here for the people as they say they are.
Hmm. What do you expect them to tell you?
I'm hoping they don't fluff me.
Oh, okay.
Because like anytime you ask a direct question, if they feel kind of threatened, what they do is they kind of give you a talk around, so it kind of pushes you away. You
Oh,
know,
okay. I got you.
So I'm just hoping that's not the case of what will happen when I actually do make a phone call.
So what happened with the gun right groups in Florida that made you want to do this?
Oh man, so like when I was actually in doing the competition, of course, I wasn't like on media, checking media or anything like that
Right,
because I
right.
really didn't have good signal. And next thing you know, it was like Florida had signed the gun bill to like all that craziness they was talking about. So all those gun laws gonna go into effect in October.
Okay.
So I was like, man, what is really going on? But now the important question is how many other states are going to follow, and how's the fight really going to be with these activist groups with this madness that's going on like this?
All right. Well, this is not the first mass murder we had in history in the last 25 years that I know of. And there's always been a reaction. Always. There's always been legislators and politicians who kind of bend to the will of the people who don't know anything. And as long as they pass something, they usually placate the people for a minute. So they threw the bump stocks under a bus. They try to raise the um, age for rifles and shotguns from 18 to 21. I did hear that part.
Hmm.
And the NRA actually is countersuing on the basis of breaking the Second Amendment for that one. States' rights, according to I think the 10th Amendment, trump federal, so they can enact any craziness they want to for the most part, and that's why New York is so crazy. That's why Maryland is so crazy. That's why Chicago is so crazy when it comes to Illinois versus Chicago, New York State versus New York City, Maryland versus Baltimore City, all that kind of stuff. So you kind of expect it. Um, Now the next move is what happens now. What happens because they won't. These laws never save a life. They don't change anything other than they infringe on the law abiding on us.
Right.
Um, our people, our community also um, gets employed and gets some work from the struggle. So it's a double edged sword. They're also glad to be involved, glad to put their name out there. So we get to see also, and hopefully not enough fluff. I hope we see some real stuff happening, like you said.
Yeah. I'm just like I said, I just want some answers, but at the same time I want real answers.
Mm.
So, but it's like I said, I'm just curious to know how this is going to be, But then again, another way I'm thinking about it is they pushed it all the way out. It doesn't take effect until October.
Oh, it's always like that.
Yeah, and then by the time October hit, they done changed it two or three times over, so it went back to what it really was in the first place. So that's how I look at it probably happening. But then again, I don't want nobody playing with the infringement of any rights
Oh
of
yeah.
any
Oh
kind,
yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
know. So
They're
we
gonna
got
sacrifice. They're gonna sacrifice the pawns. They're gonna get rid of anything they can throw under the bus. Is gonna happen, guaranteed. Because you got this time. The only thing really different about this fight than any of the other mass murders that happen, criminals doing stuff, terrorists doing stuff, is that you have a whole bunch of kids for the first time that are activists that are screaming and hollering. They're being, of course, puppeteered by some other people, but that's a powerful motivator for people to act. So that's probably the only thing that's different this time. This is like probably the newest technique they've had, because there's been stuff in schools, but we haven't had the socialist youth, as I call them, revving up. I mean, they're pretty much brown shirting and trying to get the Constitution repealed and a whole bunch of stuff they have no clue of. But it's working. It's working up to a point. Florida, for what I know, has some pretty strong gun rights groups in Florida. And they haven't been the friendliest bunch of folks in a while. So they might have ruffled a whole bunch of feathers. So might be some get back going on right now. So we'll see where it all ends up.
Yeah. So like I said, it just needs to be resolved, but more in a friendly manner, peace amongst the people. Yeah, man. So, Johnny King set me up, man.
Oh, yeah. Your Cola Wars.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you what old Johnny did. Johnny talked me into going to the competition called Cola Warriors, right?
Okay.
And every time we would link up, he would talk a little bit about it. But I think he realized I'm a very competitive person.
Okay.
So,
setting you up.
Yeah. So he's doing a little bit at a time. So, I just got to the point. I was like, man, Johnny, I don't think it's that bad. I'm gonna go with you, man. I'm just gonna do it. So we get out there, and I'm imagining it one way, and it's totally a different way because it's more organized than what I thought it was.
Okay.
And the way he kind of talked about it, I'm thinking it's just a group of 20, 30 people get together. They link up with the people here. They put together this little competition, because I know he went to Virginia and did the same thing a few months ago.
So he had some practice.
Oh yeah, Johnny's done about 4 or 5 of them already. He's like a real-time vet with it.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there and I'm trying to put it together off of what he's saying. So when I get there, one of the guys, he walks over to the vehicle and he lays out the course, like, okay, you're gonna do this, then you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna go over here, you're gonna knock this out, and we're gonna run y'all today. And I'm sitting there like, what? I just got here. Luckily, I was hydrating because I had food poisoning the week before. So went on ahead, we changed. It was cold because the temperature dropped, and we changed. Johnny ran the course the first time around, because they was only doing one person at a time. So it wasn't like, okay, once he leave one obstacle, then the next person go. It was one person ran the whole course, then they come back, then they say, okay, the next person. So that was like an all-day affair for the people who was actually keeping the grades and everything.
Oh, okay, right.
So it was like Johnny, then somebody else went, and then I went. And Johnny came over there, talking smack, laughing at me and everything. So I was like, all right, cool. So, and Johnny even said it. He was like, wow, I knew Mike was in shape, but I didn't know he was in that good of shape, And like, I haven't really ran in 2.5 years, and you had to run a half a mile on this course. But the way it went was you do 5 obstacles. You got to eat 5 peeps, take apart a rifle, do a functions check. But when you're taking apart the rifle, that's when you're eating the 5 peeps. Then you run the half a mile, go over to the range, and then you shoot so many targets with handgun, and then so many targets out to 200 meters. I think it was 200 meters. And it was like 9 targets altogether. If it was 200 meters, it was 200 meters was the furthest. And then after you do that, then you got to chug 72 ounces of soda.
Oh man, that's nasty.
Yeah, man.
That's what peeps in your stomach.
Man, that's where it got all that sugar, man, because you're running, and so you're getting it in your system, and by the time you're shooting, you're shaking so bad. I'm like, oh my goodness, man, this is horrible. But it was fun though. It was challenging. The guy who actually started it, I think he was in the military.
He works in a
And
sugar factory.
no, he was like a contractor. And and they said it started off as a joke, but it caught on.
Oh, okay.
So they do it. It's like the way they was talking. I want to say it was like 8 places altogether, like Texas, Mississippi. I think they said Utah, here, Virginia. you know, so I was like, oh my goodness. So
What kind of raffle did y'all put together?
I think it was like a little SKS.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't even fireable. It was just you had to take it apart, put it back together, and then do a functions check on it. So
Oh, okay.
But it was like, I don't know the significance of putting it in the toilet seat into the ground. So it was unique. Like I said, if you go back and if you go on my Instagram and you look at the pictures, I have a picture of every stage that
Okay.
I've done. You know what I'm saying? So it'll make more sense to you. And but now this is what a major setup is, because when Johnny was telling me, I think he was more trying to get me enticed to do the course with him.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm in it. So he keeps talking, hey man, it ain't gonna be as easy as you think. It ain't gonna be like this military stuff. And I'm like, Johnny, I've been to war, man. So I've seen some stuff, I've done some stuff in the midst of war. So it ain't too much you're gonna do that's gonna throw me off balance.
Was Johnny in law enforcement or a veteran?
Nah, Johnny, let's put it, he works in the money industry.
Okay.
And when we actually did it and everything, I'm like just sitting around, I'm joking and laughing, like running through the course. And like they're sitting there joking with me, so I'm cracking jokes back. And then after I did it, then that's when I found out there was actual prize table. And it's like top name companies that Geisley sponsored it. And everybody who did the event, everybody got like a Geisley trigger. And
Oh, wow.
I looked up the value of the trigger that I got. It was a $250 trigger.
Nice.
And now here's the catch. If you would have been within the top 10, you would have got an invite to go to the classic in Mississippi. So when I did it, goofing off, joking around, not putting forth 100%, I ended up getting 11th place. Missed 10th place by 45 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna blame it on the soda, chugging a soda, because the equivalent of what I narrowed it down to, I was chugging down a soda 1 can a minute, because my raw time was like 15 minutes and so many seconds, and my overall time was like 21 minutes. But there was a balance beam, and the balance beam, like you had the bar, but they had weights on it, like a cement block on the end of it, but the chains were uneven. So one chain was longer than the other chain. So you're sitting there trying to balance it. And I took a lot of time on that because my knee was about to give out on me. And just the weight, trying to counter the weight and all that. So like I said, after I finished it, that's when they told me the prize table and everything. And I was like, oh man, I'm sitting there not even thinking this was a sanctioned event or anything like that. But like I said, Geisley was contributor. Ford Controls, ALG Defense, STAC, Weapons Genetics, Bluegrass Targets, and a lubrication company called Cherry Bombs. Those are some of the companies that sponsored it that I caught, but I'm pretty sure it was more than just those companies. But like I said, I walked away with the $250 Geisley trigger. I walked away with a Geisley handguard for an AR rifle. A bottle opener that somebody made from out there who was like an engraver. A 9mm Kydex magazine holster. Of course, you get the little award for doing the event. But overall, it was good, man. It was fun. It was fun.
How much did it cost to go?
Nothing.
Oh wow! So y'all this stuff and it was free?
Yeah, everything was donation, even the food. And I'm sitting back
too,
like, yeah, man. Like I said, it blew my mind. So I'm asking a bunch of questions, and I know they're looking at me like, "Yo, who is this guy?" And because it just every time you said something else didn't add up. So I was like, yo, do y'all like take donations or anything like that? They was like, no, man, everything is already taken care of, you know. And then they went through and said, like, all these people donated all this money for this event. And it was like, when you go to another one, it's going to be the same way. But they don't want big businesses with their fingers in it because it'll take away from like how they actually run stuff and do stuff.
Tell me about this Geisley trigger. You're going to use it for one of your ARs?
Yeah, actually, I'll probably either build one or I'll probably just take the AR rifle that I have, the Smith and Wesson, and just rebuild it all together, you know, and just put a bunch of custom stuff on it.
That's the one you ran for this competition?
Yeah. So because you know my buddies over at Delphi Tactical, they're making me a rifle. It's probably finished. I haven't even called them and asked them if they finished it yet.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll be the rifle I use from here on out, as far as competitions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, I'll just plink around with the Smith and Wesson and just put pieces on, take pieces off, and, you know, just make it kind of a custom rifle.
You ran an MP for the pistol too?
Oh yeah, you know I did that one. Yeah, so the M&P that I have, I don't have it right here with me right now, but it's the same one that I've always had in all my pictures and videos. The one that I used in the video that you was asking who shot the video, and I told you it was Johnny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that same handgun. That's the one I use.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah. So other than that, man, that was my week. You know, went out there, almost froze to death because, you know, the temperature dropped down to like 28 one night.
In South Carolina?
No, this is in Georgia.
Still.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. So whoever said global warming is not true, man, somebody better pick up a book because man, it was horrible that night. Yeah. So, but like I said, outside of that, that's all we did. Had fun. Now I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. Somebody had asked me to do a segment on smart guns, so I told them I'll do that for them. So I'm gonna get around to that sometime this week. And
yeah, that's always been every once in a while somebody thinks that that's an original thought and how great it's going to be. I had a guy ask me a real long question on Facebook, and I sent him the same answer there's always been the case. And he was like, "Oh well, back to the drawing board." So
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, and actually, you know, a few people had actually hit me up and told me they wanted to come to that competition as well. You know, so like
next time you can take them all.
Oh yeah, so that's what I want to do. I want to take about 10 or 15, maybe 20 people with me.
That's nice.
And then everybody just you know, enjoy the experience, and then we have something to talk about, and probably get a few people onto the show and let them tell their experience. So do you personally know Brenda Osborne?
I've talked to her on Instagram and by phone a few times.
Yeah, so she hit me up, and I think I convinced her to go because I just kept saying it to her, like, so yeah, why don't you just come out there and go with me? Why don't you just come out there and go with me? And then she was like, okay, I'll go. All right, next year it's on. We're doing it next year. So she's gonna do it, and then I got one of my friends here in South Carolina. Her son is heavy into guns, and me and him was talking, and I was telling him about it. So he was like, yeah, I'll do it. Okay, game on. I got two.
Yeah, I expect Brenda to be a beast out there. She's
oh
the
yeah,
real deal.
So now you know, they do a woman's division also, and the woman, I want to say the lady who won the women's division, I think that was the lady who beat her husband by like 30 seconds overall. So I was like, oh man. So but it was some beast out there. But it's like the whole thing is it's always going to be one or two things that throw you off. So yeah, you might do the obstacles real easy.
Mm-hmm.
Now when you get to the balancing beam with those concrete blocks, that was the one thing that slowed me down. But I seen it slowed a couple people down also. And then it was another one where you had to throw a beer keg, and it had like 2 gallons of liquid in the beer keg, and you had to throw it over at least, I think it was a 10-foot wall, 8-foot to 10-foot wall.
Is that 20 pounds plus the keg?
Yeah. So when you look at it, there was no woman out there who done that. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing is every time you don't do an event, they give you a penalty, and the penalty is something like 30 minutes. So if you have 2 or 3 penalties, you know what I'm saying? You better hope everybody else get those penalties also.
Yeah.
You know, so but it's like a strategy you got to have when you go into it. But like I
That's
said,
a whole different thing of just making a shooting event.
oh yeah. They said the guy who put it together, like I said, it was a joke from the start,
Mm-hmm.
but he decided to do it where it was like a stress test, a physical, and then the shooting all wrapped up in one.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah. So me, like when I was talking to somebody this weekend, I told them think of a Tough Mudder without the mud, but put guns in it also.
Okay.
You know, say something like that. So, but yeah, like I said, I enjoy doing stuff like that. So it was kind of a break from the norm from the regular IDPA and USPSA matches that I'm used to doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, all that stuff that you do outside the box helps you in real life stuff.
That I do agree with, and I do see a lot more people coming up with competitions like this because I honestly believe Cola Warriors are going to be that event that blows up here in the next, 2-3 years. So like I got a friend up in lives in Upper Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his wife, they actually travel around and do the Tough Mudders. And like I'm like, man, that doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense. And, they was like, yeah, come on out and do it. And I was like, all right. So the weekend I was supposed to do it, I ended up rolling my ankle because I was still in the Army at that time. And I ended up rolling my ankle, so I couldn't do it because I had the space boot on and everything. And but of course, when I went out there and I seen it, I was like, okay, I can see why. But you know what I'm saying, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But he's a very physical person, like he's I'm surprised he doesn't do those CrossFit competitions,
Oh, okay.
because that's how he's all into stuff like that. But yeah, I see Cola Warriors blowing up like that because there was people driving from I think the furthest they said was somebody was driving from Las Vegas to come to Georgia to compete.
Yeah. Brenda's coming from that far.
Yeah. So I was like, wow. But like I said, when I sat down, I started talking. The more people I talked to, the more I learned a little bit more about it and the system they have and everything. It was like, yeah, I got this organized really well, really well. And like I said, Geisley is a big time sponsor in it. So I was like, kudos for that.
I don't know much about that trigger. What's it known for?
I want to say Geisley's that one trigger that everybody wants in their weapon, like the 2-stage.
Yeah.
And I think their biggest one is the 3-gun competition trigger as well. Because I really never really followed, like the Geisley trigger. I just knew like everybody would always, hey, is it a Geisley trigger in it? And actually the Smith and Wesson that I have, it has a Geisley trigger.
Oh, okay.
I don't know which model, which brand, but I know it has a Geisley. Just looking at it because somebody had told me, like if you look and you see that little G on it, I was like, okay, cool. I looked and saw it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But me, if I could pull it, hey, if it goes bang, I'm all for it.
Right.
I'm doing techniques with it. Yeah. But like I said, overall, it was a good week. Like I said, Johnny set me up, so I'm gonna blame it on Johnny King. Why I didn't get top 10.
Well, there's your first one. You'll know better next time.
Yeah, that's it right there. That's it. So how was your week?
My week was what was my week like? My week was pretty quiet, except for I got a whole bunch of Christmas gifts. So I'm doing reviews. I had to put up a whole new page and kind of line up some stuff to show clothing and firearms and whatever I can get from different people in the industry to showcase what they want everybody else to see. So I'm glad to be the model for this week, and just doing that, just doing a little housekeeping, keeping mama happy, keeping household together, and just tightening up what I got for the most part. That's all I've been doing. I took my son shooting on Saturday, and that was different. Now as an adult, he's looking at buying his first handgun for himself, and it was something, man, because my son went a whole different direction. He went martial arts and didn't really care about firearms at all. So I didn't push it. And then he's kind of come back around. So he took his handgun qualification license course that he had to take in Maryland to be able to purchase a handgun, which burns me to no end that you have to do that. But the dude can shoot. He's I'm gonna have to work with him on some reloading and some immediate action drills and some stuff that he's not getting from wherever he got his little bit of knowledge from. But I'm happy with him so far. So he's safe, he's accurate, and chip off the old block. So we good.
Now, do you think it's he came back to it mainly because of your interaction with guns and him younger, or do you think it's more of what's going on in the media and
Him being a homeowner and just being an adult. I mean, just come back around. It was kind of funny. I guess his buddies, his buddy, he got some friends that are firearms guys. So his new friends were talking about they were going out shooting, and he heard like all the familiar stuff from me, but it wasn't me talking. So this time he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go shooting with my buddies," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool, man." And then my wife was like rolling her eyes, like, "I can't believe you're gonna even talk guns and not even talk to your father." So it was like a little bit of stress there for him. But, I didn't say a thing. I was like, "Mm-mm." My man wanted to do his own thing, and it took probably 3 or 4 months before he said, "Hey, Dad, you want to go to the range on Saturday?" And when he got here, I had the bag packed. I was ready to go. I've been waiting for 25 years for this thing, so it's all good.
One day it happened.
I know, right? So he's like, "Hey, can I borrow?" I was like, "Yeah, I got like 2 guns, man. I've been holding just for you." So
nice.
so here we go.
That's it right there. So how long y'all actually stay out there?
A couple of hours. It was a manly day. Then we went and ate some steaks. It was good.
That's it right there.
Right, testosterone. It was cool, man. It was a good day.
Did you take the revolver out, or was it other things you took out?
No, I took the new M&P 2.0 out. I took what else? I got a IWI. It's a 22 clone, but it looks like a Glock 19, and that I'm working on his marksmanship skills with the 22 before I bequeath him this Glock. But he's gonna probably he was kind of loving the 22. He's talking about buying a Kel-Tec 22 that was kind of funky looking. It was like blue with fiber optics on it and like some out of a video game. But he was like, "Yeah, I kind of like this one." I'm thinking, all right, knock yourself out. We start off small. We do the target thing for a minute.
Man, there's Kel-Tec I want to get, that shotgun, and that joke holds something like 20 shells, I think it was.
Yeah, Kel-Tec makes some phenomenal stuff. I think this 22 was like a 30 shot 22.
Yeah. So only reason I want to get that is because I was just thinking, if you actually do a 3-gun competition and your shotgun holds 5 to 7 shells, and then a lot of times you got to do a quick reload, but if you got that Kel-Tec or an extended tube on your shotgun, and if it's automatic, of course, you got the better time because it's automatic. But just having that Kel-Tec with all those rounds in it, you're going to save time regardless.
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted to see about getting one of those. So.
Where's Kel-Tec out? It's like out of Georgia or South Carolina, somewhere down there, right?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. When I was first heard about Kel-Tec, because I know Hank was sponsored by them when I first heard.
Might have been Florida then. Yeah. I know it's down there somewhere.
Yeah, it was like maybe 4 years ago when I first heard about him. Because I was watching one of his YouTube videos, and he was always talking about him. And then because they was giving away one, that's how I came across him. And then I started looking into it, and I was like, man, this company right here, they're making some like unique looking stuff.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, their stuff works. And all the reviews I've seen on the shotgun, everybody said nothing but good things about it. I haven't found one where they said anything negative about it.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So, but like I said, that's going to be one of those ventures, whereas somebody either going to have to give that to me or I'm going to have to start saving some pennies and making it happen.
I heard that. Yeah. All right, man, what you got next?
Actually, only thing I got is that USCCA convention coming up, and working on some podcasts, and I'm have to do some videos, some stuff I want to do, like Jam4. They sent me a hoster, so I'm gonna do a video on their hoster, and then I still got to put some more pictures and videos up from Cola Wars that I want to put up, and share that experience with people. But outside of that, I ain't got nothing. Here shortly, I will be getting the little assistant, so she can run around and take over the world.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah. So, but outside of that, nah, I ain't got nothing else going on. It's just, I look forward to the beginning of the week so I can see the comments and hear the podcast and everything. It's kind of amazing, like how when you sit here and when I talk to people, people think I'll listen to the podcast before you actually put it out. And I was like, no, actually, when you hear it is when I hear it. I don't get special privileges.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I'm not mad about it because I got so much stuff going on, and like when people talk to me about the different podcasts,
Same.
I'm more like, I don't know what episode it is, right? And I can't like relate it to something else that happened in the podcast because I can be like, yeah, when I recorded that, I was doing this that day. Then I went and did this that day. Then I sent it to Ken. But I can't tell you like how he puts it together and the madness of what else went on because I have to listen to it a few times to do that. But yeah, a lot of people, I guess they think like I'm right there next to you putting it together. I'm like, nah, I just send everything to him and I do other stuff, But yeah, it's like it's amazing though when you sit there and you look at it. Like if you was to actually sit here and see what I do, and then the finishing product, I'm like, man, that's pretty hot.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, thanks again, man, for this week, and I'm looking forward to your report for next week.
That'll work. Like I said, I have a few things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put in an email to you, but I feel like I'm kind of behind on my schedule, so you have to give me some time.
Not a problem, man. Not a problem.
Yeah. So you know how I always do it. Until next time, keep shooting, keep practicing, and have fun. Back to you, Ken.
All right, big guy. Thank you.
Oh yeah.